All right, folks, welcome. We are switching gears into Silver League. Now, let me explain, because there's going to be someone out there that's like, wait a second, I don't know these players. What's happening? So, the beauty of Titans League is you've got multiple leagues, okay? And they run somewhat simultaneous. You have the Silver League, which is the 10K league. You have the Gold League, which is the 25K league. And then you have the Platinum League, which is the 64K league. And so, we've just finished the second round of Platinum. Silver, rather, is in its final round. So that's what we are covering here. And we're going to cover the final rounds of every single Silver set. In most cases, there's a lot to play for. Like it's crazy. We got people trying to survive. We got people trying to get promoted, because one can get promoted to the Gold League from Silver League, and maybe eventually back to Platinum League. Who knows? But in this case, there's slightly less to play for, at least as far as Stark's concerned. Stark won 11 of 12 games, and Stark is already confirmed to be going to Gold for the next season. Now, Stark can still get $10 per win, so that's something for him to play for. And obviously, he's got the pride and all that to play for. But Dennis is at 6 wins right now. Dennis could be relegated. Dennis needs wins. So, and for those that don't know Dennis is a player who has gotten pretty good over the last couple years. He's not the youngest player. I think he's around 30 years old. Dennis is a player who has some background, I think, in League. I think he played... I've said this before, and I don't know enough about League to know the significance, but he played in the... I think he played in the Asia Games at one point, which when I brought that up to someone who knows League, they were like, what? And they freaked out, and they looked him up, and they were like, okay, this guy was legit. So, really solid player. Both players are a bit slower than some other high-level players. Both players are very strategic, I would say. Dennis is playing as the Bengalis. We had Stark playing as the Dravidians. Wow. Well, I say wow because Dravidians is really good for the water. And that's obviously here. But I am wondering how the Dravidians would play on the land aspect of this map. This map is one of my favorites. And it's that combination of water and land that becomes very important. If I had to guess, I would say maybe Stark will feel like he could just win water and then defend on land. But Bengalis have really strong land units. The Bengalis, if they get to a castle and play into Ratha, if they play in towards monks and siege, like, could be extremely dangerous. So you got to get the balance right, whatever that balance is. Luke Ham says, does Tato play today? Tato played in Platinum yesterday. You can always check the VOD or wait for the YouTube upload on that. Tato won't play again. Platinum doesn't kick back up until Friday through Monday. Yeah, so Naya, Stark is already guaranteed to win the group. Dennis, not really guaranteed for anything right now. He would need to get, I think, 2 wins to be completely safe. And so far, Dennis with the dock on the back. Wondering if Dennis realizes his boar is here. Okay, he's just realized his boar is here. He looked a little bit confused. Yeah, Ashwig, the next Platinum matches will be on the new patch. Correct. What's up, Zern? Welcome. Hello, YouTube chat. Good morning. I'm going to be very chill today. So, I'm going to drink my water now. I'm not going to push it because, like I said, I really would hate to compromise a whole week if I am talking at 110% over the course of the whole day. So, forgive me, I guess, for YouTube videos later on. First off, thanks for your interest here, but I woke up a little bit sick, so... I have a little bit of... I had some meds I could take to just help a little bit, but... Really, the number one thing you should do with the sore throat is probably stop talking, so... Oh, wow, the unique texts are gone. Thanks, Capture H. Can I look at them here? What is this, dude? Okay, no unique text allowed. Yeah, so there's a new patch coming out. Capture Age updated on me this morning, and there's the bug. So I figured there would be a bug of some kind. It's okay. I have the unique text memorized. I am curious, though. If one gets researched, what happens in Capture Age? Does the red X pop up? And does it have a countdown? If someone reminds me, I can always message Capture Age about that, but I think that's just going to be something we kind of have to deal with. I think my bigger worry was that when they updated Capture Age, I wasn't going to be able to cast these games at all. And thankfully, we have everything here for the most part, so. Full Metal Zim says telling T90 to stop talking is like telling a dog to stop licking its own bum. Could you really have not found another comparison there? Of all the things you could have thought of in the world, you decided to compare me to a dog licking its own bum. Really? You couldn't thought of anything else, Full Metal Zim? Thanks for the analogy. 3 docks here for Stark. Yeah, I mean, Dark's got a Civ that is dominant on water. Has very good water bonuses. And it is 2 docks for Dennis. It's interesting. We haven't seen Galley opening much at all in Platinum League. But down here in Silver League, both players opting for the heavy water approach. We have the 2 docks for Dennis. But this is definitely more of the economic approach. Because he's going 2 docks. He's going to place the mill. He's definitely still thinking about like getting to Castle Age at a reasonable time. He's actually going to go 2 galleys, and then he's going to go 2 fires. I mean, based on what we know, depending on what direction everything goes, I think Stark's going to eventually win water. I think it's on Dennis, though, to... If Dennis still reaches Castle Age faster because Dennis takes the berries early and balances out the eco in the right way, I mean... I've been saying it, you just don't want to lose water too quickly. But it is water investment from him. And his galleys are out, and his galleys are going to be going to the left side. And might be able to find some villagers here on the oysters. Find some fishing ships as well. Okay, he has a new analogy. It's like telling drill instructor to stop insulting recruits. Better? Yeah, that's way better. I mean, insulting recruits is kind of rough too, but like way better than the first one. So thank you. Also, very random the directions your brain goes, I have to say. Which I appreciate. I can relate to that. But, like, those are 2 very different things, dude. What's up, Kettle Punch? How excited would you be if your uncle joined a community game? Dude, I don't want you guys to be able to beat up on Unc. I'd be terrified. I do not want my uncle in a community game. You guys would probably be all nice to my uncle. You're not nice to me when I'm in a community game, so... Dennis's galleys get found on the left side. And on the right side, the fire galleys find Stark. I think Stark will still like his chances here. He has fletching. And I think Dennis will be surprised to see this many galleys. I wasn't able to see all the games from Dennis and Stark. I saw quite a few, but I don't remember a Coast Arena game. Stark is just going full galleys here, which should eventually win water. I mean, Dennis should understand that. Now Dennis is... You can tell the difference here. Dennis is invested into farms. Dennis was on the berries earlier. Dennis will go for the market. I think the key for Dennis now is you have to plan around a castle on Stark's face. You're going to lose water. It's just a matter of time. But you just hold on as long as you can with whatever fire galley numbers you have. And then get... If it's not a castle, you can get to gold and play Monk Siege. Stark's Castle Age time should be later. But honestly, as I say that, Stark is building the market. Stark's resources are looking good. He hasn't killed any fishing ships yet. He has killed 4 ships, though. And maybe Stark senses this. Like, I think Stark should understand. Stark's a really intelligent player. He's a player that has been around for a super long time. I remember some big sets from him 10 years ago. He's looked really sharp recently, and he's made this group, which is a really competitive group, look kind of easy for him. And galleys will come in on both sides. Fire galleys are still just massing for Dennis. I don't know where they are, but I would not expect him to be able to do much. These 2 fires might be able to make it through. On the left side, Stark should notice this. And yeah, Dennis is on the way up, and he's heavy on stone. Now, what I'd like to see from Dennis is really heavy activity with the scout. Looking for where the stone and golds are. That's what he's doing. And galleys have made it through on this side. And this is where you just have to essentially accept you're going to lose water here. I think it's very easy to feel like you could still justify making a couple fires, but that will be tough. He saw the stone. I don't know if he saw the stone was being mined. But they're against 18 galleys, even with the Castle Age upgrade. I just don't think you can recover here. Just drop off the fish, get whatever food you can, and say goodbye. It's time to focus on land now. And for Stark, he's clearly planning on a defensive castle. Stark also recognizes he's vulnerable here. So he drops the outpost. But this castle has to go on the front, right? If you lose water, you have to take land. Or still the 2 fires there. Honestly, these 2 fires could be a game changer. This fire as well. Getting War Galley could be worth it here. If he snipes the fishing ships that Stark is adding, Stark might not benefit economically from the water investment. Now, does he want to deny the gold or deny the stone? Something tells me Dennis didn't see that Stark was actually on the stone. I think if he saw... Oh, well, here we go. Never mind. If he saw Stark was on the stone, he would drop that exact castle. So there he goes. Stark can see that. Fire galleys are in the back. Dennis needs wins to survive in Titans League Silver. And the fires getting through is something that Stark was not expecting here. This is a really nice find for Dennis. He can... And Stark doesn't see he's losing the villagers either. Stark is looking at the castle on his face. So Stark's vills are getting roasted back here. This is so good for Dennis. And Stark's fires as well could end up going down. Stark realizes it after losing a couple villagers here. Stark will have water. We know that. Stark will now drop his own castle. Well, this gets interesting now. Because Stark took some eco damage. Dennis will have the relics. Dennis has Ratha, which is a better unique unit to make here. Stark is going to go double monastery and opt for monks. But it's not like Stark has this crazy fishing eco. I think he had 8 fishing ships. It drops down to 5. It's going to go up to 6. Dravidian monks are also really weak. That's why I don't like Dravidians, but maybe I'm missing something. Obviously, with good fishing eco, you can probably win with any matchup. Stark is starting to send villagers to the sides. Already placed another dock over here. And Dennis is through now. Dennis doesn't know about the castle yet. He doesn't know about the monasteries. But, again, he shouldn't be overly worried about Bengali monks. Or, sorry, Dravidian monks. But the conversions come in anyways. So that's not a bad start there at all for Stark. Dennis just hesitated. There was a lot of information there. A lot of things came in at once there, right? Like, he saw the castle. He saw the monks. I think he always kills those monks if the castle's not there, but he hesitated. And 2 relics in for Dennis. Town center over here on the berries. He actually needs wood. His wood lines are ranged by the galleys, so he needs a wood line right now. That's probably what these builds are going to be shifted over to. I think Stark's plan is to go Imperial Age. Just looking at his resources. Which would make sense. Because I don't see what else you're going to spend your food and your gold on at this point. Master Sloth says, what's your elo compared to the average for community games? I don't know. It depends on the level for community games, but the reason that I don't have it easy in community games is because people want to focus on me and then clip it and watch me struggle. So there's the explanation for why I don't want to play community games, because it'll be 7v1. People are all... I'll be doing the right things. I'll have good diplomacy. And then they're like, you know, they want to snipe me and clip it. And of course, everyone in chat wants that as well. So I typically don't have a great time. Okay, that's the MTC for Stark. I don't know about this, man. I think Dennis has done a pretty good job. Stark's on the way to Imp for Trebs. But what else does he have? He's got a couple Urumi swordsmen. I know they have mustaches, which I respect. But beyond that, they don't have a lot. That little whip they have. They can't whip and nay-nay down the Ratha, man. The Ratha are too strong. Then there's the monks as well. Monks from the Bengalis have all that armor. This is a beautiful build from Dennis in a do-or-die scenario. He has to get wins here in this series. And all beautiful block. I actually think it's worth it to be underneath the castle, but maybe back up a little bit. Okay, Stark does save his MTC for now. I was thinking Dennis was going to go for another castle. If only Dennis knew Stark was up, he would probably full focus that town center right now. Stark had to produce something to defend. The Yurumis were probably the right play. Okay, here we go. He'll probably go for the monastery first. Imp is at 80%. I mean, armored elephants are strong. The TC already took a little bit of damage. Here we go. I think he makes it to Imp, but I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. This is really close. No, he might not make it. And the monks are here. He might not make it. Imp might get denied. There's no repairs. That's fine. Never mind. Went down to 400 HP. That's game over right there if the TC goes down before Imp. Stark now has a chance because he can make trebs. Stark still has fishing eco. Dennis is dropping another castle over here, which would fully deny Stark's gold. Normally, you don't want to drop a castle underneath, like, another castle when they're an Imp, but I think here it makes sense. Stark is basically out of gold now. He's still relocating his fish on the outside. He still has a big score because of the Navy, but, like, if I'm Dennis, I just get more and more Ratha upgrades, and I prepare to dive this castle and take down that Treb. And if you take down that Treb, that might be all that Stark has. Again, sorry about the red X's on screen, guys. It's just the capture age updated to accommodate the upcoming patch, and they added a bug. This one is what it is. There will be no unique text here. Actually, that's not true. We could see the unique tech for Dennis, and Dennis is going to dive. The converted Yurumis are here. The Ratha are there. The armored elephants are there, and he takes down the Treb. Guys, Stark is completely out of gas. And also, speaking of bugs, the stupid chat filter is continually it's been muting GG this week. So, yeah, use the filter emote if you have it. Stark calls the GG, and Dennis gets a win. So, again, like, Stark doesn't necessarily need to have wins to get promoted. There's not as much on the line for him. He's already done the heavy lifting. We will still have 2 more games. Dennis gets a very nice win. I like that. I think when I saw Dravidians, I knew Stark was going to play water. I think Dennis did just enough there. I think the biggest thing for him was that he was able to get the damage done with those fire ships in early castle. And then the castle drop and the monks was perfect. He got most of the relics. He relocated to a town center in the middle. And he knew Stark was on the way to Imp, probably. Probably could have taken out the Imp TC, but even without that, Ratha are just a very strong unit to have in Castle Age against Imperial Age units. There's the reds collected. Stark didn't have the gold. So he had the food, he had the wood, he just didn't have the gold. It's how this map should go, in my opinion. The player who goes that heavy on water should always lose land. All right, game number 2. Gotta love it, though. You have one guy's like, I want to start a petition for T90 to stream his wedding. A bunch of chatters are like, where do I sign? And then you have this one dude who's like, why would you want to watch a wedding, Resident Sleeper? Honestly, respect. Respect. I'm not even upset. That sounds like it could be reverse psychology, though. See, he's trying to act uninterested, so I, as a content creator, feel the need to make him interested, right? So, I actually, you know what? I don't believe you. I know what you're trying to do here. Game 2. And we've got Malians for Dennis. And we've got the Woo for Stark. Again, just confirmed Stark is already first place. Dennis, likely safe now. It is not confirmed. I think 1 more win for Dennis and he is safe. 1 more win for Dennis. Maybe even 2 wins for Dennis here. And then Dennis, maybe top 3 in the group, might end up getting to Gold League via the playoffs. So, a lot on the line here. Stark pushing in some of his Zebra, as is Dennis. They both have civs that do very similar things. We have seen some players going for the barracks before the dock. I could see the Woo doing that. I could see the Malians doing that as well, but I kind of feel like both of these players are going to go to the north and try and dock with high tides. What's up, Figgle? Thank you for the 65 months. I don't think I'm gonna stream my wedding, but the plan on the wedding day is we have like, so basically on at the venue for the wedding, there's this little, shall we call it a man cave? It's not really a man cave, but it's like, because like man cave implies like a couch and a TV and like a basement. It's like I don't know. It's almost like a wine cellar. It's like this area that has like some dartboards and poker table, and it's got a bar, and we're gonna take some photos in there with some like fake cigars and whiskey and stuff. So that's where we're gonna get ready and hang out. We'll probably bring like our Xbox or a Switch or something, and in the morning because the girls take way longer to get ready, right? The guys are just gonna like hang out and have a good time. I was thinking that maybe because chat's been a part of this journey with me. I mean, not like collectively. Some of you guys are new, but longtime viewers have been a part of. You guys have heard all the relationship stories and been around since we met, which has been like 6 years, 7 years now. I thought like maybe I could go live for like 20 minutes, Just being like, what's up, chat? About to get married. Might be a little tipsy right now. Love you guys. Dave sucks at Mario Kart. And then stream off. So as far as the stream goes on the wedding day, maybe something like that will happen. But I don't know if I'm going to plan it. That's going to be a if I'm feeling it in the moment type thing. So T90, if your wedding were to be an AoE map, which one would it be? Ooh. Oh, man. Asking the real questions right now. Okay, let me think. If my wedding would be an Age of Empires map, which Age of Empires map would it be? I haven't thought about this. Ring nothing, obviously. Because there's rings involved. Maybe ring nothing. Yep, ring nothing. That could be good. I like that. I'd have to think about that. But, yeah, that sounds like a good first option. Both players have docked the north. Dennis will confirm that Stark is there. I think he wanted to know that. He does now. Stark didn't even confirm it. It's interesting. They brought their scouts home immediately instead of double-checking that. But they both have docked there and walled in their villagers, so it's pretty much the same build so far. You have two different ways of playing this. You can play double dock fires and delay the early barracks, or you can go for the early barracks and play into man-at-arms. I think the plan for Dennis is to go for the double dock approach, because he goes for the second lumber camp and some walls. And for Stark, it feels like it's going to be the barracks. Yeah, and there's the barracks. Did you propose at an Age of Empires 2 event? I did. Yeah, I did. It wasn't on stream, but I did propose. And I don't think I ended up telling anybody I did during the streams as well, because I didn't want to... I kind of wanted to on the broadcast be like, hey, guys, I'm engaged. She said yes and whatnot. But I also... I didn't want people to be like, oh, T90's making this event about him, huh, So I didn't end up saying anything on the broadcast. I just ended up doing a post later. Mr. Fossey says, what if she said no? She wasn't going to say no. I mean, I wasn't going to propose if she was going to say no, dude. In the movies, it's like, oh, you surprised them. They never expected it. But I don't think that's a good way to live life. We obviously discussed things well in advance. So she didn't know how I was going to propose. But I made sure that we were on the same page with life, and there was trust me, no surprises there. But yeah, I did it at Red Bull in Heidelberg, and she told me she would like for it to be a surprise. She would like for it to be somewhat unique, and she wanted to look cute. And so I had this ring in my pocket for days, and I just was so afraid I was going to lose it. I kept being so worried because I didn't want to leave it in the hotel. Because I thought, I don't know, off chance maybe someone steals it or something. So I was there for like 4 or 5 days, and she got into town later than me. And I decided I got to freaking do this thing, man. I got to just propose because I'm going to lose the ring. So she got into town on like she flew into Germany overnight. She's exhausted. She had like 3 hours to sleep. And then she's getting ready. And I had already decided, I don't care what it is. I'm proposing today, right? No hesitation. And man, Stark's micro here is crazy, by the way. That is sick. Didn't take a single hit from the spearman. It's honestly unbelievable micro. That's not easy to do. Maybe I should stop the story time because Stark's going to snipe the archer. Oh, man. Stark's opening has been so good already. And Stark is on 2 docks right now to keep water. That's an amazing start for Stark. My goodness. Anyways, long story short, as she was getting ready in the bathroom and like showering and stuff, and we're about to go to the castle where I've decided I'm going to propose. I'm thinking to myself, I hope she looks cute because if she is in sweatpants and a t-shirt, not that I don't think she's cute in sweatpants and a t-shirt, but she wouldn't say she looked cute in that. I'm doing it anyways. And then she had like dressed up a little bit. And so I was like, good. She's not going to be disappointed that I am proposing because she's not whatever she classifies as cute. So it was a good time, man. It was a good time. The funny thing was we went to this area of the castle where that had no people. It was like this off-limits area. And I had the Red Bull photographers help me take the photos and stuff. They were super cool about it. That was awesome, too. I mean, I didn't pay them at all. They were just there. I was like, hey, would you mind? They're like, absolutely. So it was a sweet deal for me. But I get down on one knee. You know, I ask her, will you marry me? Do you guys want to know what the first thing she said was? It wasn't yes. I know, worrying. Very worrying to hear that. You guys are suddenly scared for me. The first thing she said, after I said, will you marry me? On one knee, atop a castle in Germany, was the words that every man wants to hear. Oh my God, I'm going to throw up. And then I still stayed there on one knee as she was trying to gather her emotions. And then I was like, so? And she was like, oh, yes, you know. So she said, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. Which I always bring up. She hates the fact I bring it up, but it's hilarious, so. But then, like, I'm only focused on her. She's only focused on me. We're having our moment. And then out of nowhere, there's a round of applause. I'm not kidding you. And we turn around, and like behind us, there was this tour of the castle that had ended up wandering to our little area, the castle, that we thought was off limits for everybody. There's like freaking 100 people clapping for us. We're like, what? Including 2 people from the Age of Empires crowd that was there. Like, people were there for the LAN event, and they were taking the tour that day. They're like, what the hell? That's T90 there? And the guy took a selfie. I don't know if anyone can find that, but it's a hilarious meme. Stark is absolutely destroying Dennis here, by the way. I guess we're just going to continue to tell the story. Daniel was also in the crowd, too. Danny Boy was in the crowd. And, yeah, that's kind of my proposal story, so. It's kind of wild. It wasn't meant to turn into something that special, but it is a very special story. So the entirety of this game has just been Stark setting the tone. Like the Man-at-Arms and the Scouts was an amazing play on water. He's pretty much won it at this point. And now we'll be in Castle Age in 50 seconds. I know Stark is already confirmed to go to golds. He doesn't necessarily need these wins, but he's certainly not playing like it. This is how he's played all season, man. Really like the opening. I think once John Swordsman comes out, Dennis is going to have a really tough time. We'll probably see him fight it out. The plan would be to get into Knights. But John Swordsman can run right past this TC. He will need a lot of creative walling here. Okay, so Kellen actually made... Is that a real link? C.org? Is that like a... Is that change.org? Okay, he actually made a wedding petition for anyone who wants to sign it. You're wasting your time. But if you would like to sign the change.org petition for T90 to stream his wedding, go ahead. I feel like that site is probably designed for more important pressing matters. But go ahead. Live your life. Do your thing. Here come the Jean Swordsman. We'll see a Siege Workshop as well from Stark on the front. He's not through yet. I think Stark needs to recognize he can just run around. The second he recognizes that, the Jean Swordsmen are going to be in. Where is Dennis from? Dennis is from Hong Kong. There's not too many players. I think the other one that comes to mind from Hong Kong is Ming, but Ming doesn't really play tournaments anymore. Ming got really solid on the ladder. It just became really inactive. Stark's economy is still looking pretty good. But again, he didn't run in with the Jean Swordsman. He's just kind of knocking on the door here, which I think is maybe a mistake. This gives it some time for Dennis. Dennis will make some knights now. I had a buddy named Dennis growing up. Parents would always have to call him the Menace. There's just certain names. It's like there's just this rhyming scheme, and everybody would always bring it up. Teachers as well, right? The other one was Dan. My buddy Dan hated being called the man. He's like, oh, stop calling me the man. I don't want to be the man. Like he hadn't heard it 25,000 times in his upbringing. House is about to go down. Stark is about to batter through. The Knights are actually counterattacking, though, which is probably the best play for Dennis. Unfortunately for him, he wanted the defense into counterattack. That would have been a big swing. But now, the counterattack's here. The counterattack has to get crazy damage. Stark doesn't see it. So it's working. Stark needs to react to this. Stark could probably make enough army to come deal with this, but yeah, things get a little messy here for him. Remember, Stark still is the fish. Stark is building a monastery on the front and queuing up the monks. That is a lot of Jean Swordsmen, and the Knights for Dennis are not enough right now. He's on two... Honestly, the game's closer than I thought it would be. He's on 2 town centers. He's got good farming eco. Stark kind of threw his army away there. And Stark still isn't back on gold. Hold up. Dennis can win this game. If he can take a good engagement here right now, if he could kill off these Jean Swordsmen, this is a very winnable game. Monk is getting focused down. The Knights are here. Stark understands that too. Like, Stark's feeling like he's got to just kill him as quickly as possible. Yeah, now he backs up. Now he has the Monk. Dennis can't fight that, and Dennis loses the Knight as well. Probably should convert the Knight back instead of the Jean Swordsman. But the Knight dies. Jean Swordsman will be converted. Stark used Jean Swordsman to clear that up and push the Knight away at least. He drops the second TC. And he will still hold this position on the front. Still a close game, though. Population-wise, it's very close. Someone said, why is using skirms now such a thing? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean... Oh, you mean, like, why did Stark continue to make skirms? I mean, I think he just had some leftover skirms from earlier. He tried, he kind of misclicked it, but he wanted to use his skirms against the monks there earlier. Stark's monastery getting denied here is not actually that big of a deal, because I think he doesn't really have the eco to produce out of 2 anyways. So, he still has the first monastery. Stark's starting to fix his economy now. Dennis has done a fantastic job with the farm transition. That's what's kept him alive in this game. The fact that he's lost fish completely and still has as good a food eco is pretty impressive. And the counterattacks as well have been pretty good. So now he's got a couple monks here. I'd like to see a re-wall from Dennis. So anytime Stark tries to run in, he can. And he's going for another counter. But let's see what Stark does, because you have 2 choices. You come back and you clear this. But if you do that, then your opponent has control again. It's very likely that Stark might actually just dive the eco of Dennis. Dennis is again going for the counterattacks. Counterattacks have been huge. Jean Swordsmen are not meant to be good against Knights. They're good underneath town centers. They're good against arrow fire. So, really what you would want is probably a couple monks, maybe some pikemen at home if you're Stark. Stark still only 5 fishing ships. I'd like to see those numbers go up. What you could realistically do, actually, is add fish traps with the fish up there. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Dennis here, guys. Like, The whole game he was behind as I was telling the story. Then I stopped telling the story, and now he's doing great. Maybe I'm the problem, but... The second he's gained some control in this game, he's looked really solid. And I love the fact he's heavy on stone as well. If he gets a castle and gets Gebettos, Jean Swordsman are definitely no longer an option for Stark. But, I mean, Stark is building up an attack here. And I don't think Dennis is fully prepared for what's to come. It's going to be Rams, Jean Swordsman, and Monks. Stark has a couple monks around at home. Dennis will probably want a castle on the front of his town center here. These knights still looking in for damage. Stark's pretty well protected. It's going to be 2 Rams. How many Jean Swordsmen are actually here, though? 11. 11 against 5 knights and a couple monks. I mean, if the monks get conversions, I don't think the push works. Stark is coming to the south now. He's starting to get relics with the monks, I'm noticing. So the monks aren't ready to fight with the push. He's just getting all the relics. Just not bad. I like the dock in the south for a bit of expanded eco. I like the villagers down here to take some stone and gold. This is an area that's always forgotten. Dennis will actually drop the castle there. I like that castle, though, because it gives you access to this gold, too. And you don't want to place a castle next to a siege workshop with a flag on it. If that was a mangonel, you could have had problems. Can Dennis win this game? I feel like he can. I feel like Stark is kind of caught in 2 minds right now. Caught in the boom state of mind and the push state of mind. And the monks as well are pushing. If that's a mangonel, you could maybe hop out and hope to get some hits, but it's not. Dennis calling his bluff here. Dennis gets some conversion. Stark got atonement, though. Converts one of the monks. Dennis will have Gebetto out of the castle. The castle's up. Dennis still being very patient with his army, to be honest. I feel like I, as a player, lack patience sometimes. The game's so hard. You build up an army and you just want to end the game in one fight, but that's not so easy. And just the patience to run over this way is pretty nice. And now he has the other group heading over this way, which Stark will still have to respect. Gebettos will be coming out of the castle now. Stark will find out the hard way. Stark is getting raided here. Stark still has the knights to deal with here. Dennis needs wins. Is not confirmed to be safe in Silver League. Though I think it's likely now. I think he only has a 4% chance of relegation. Type a 1 in chat if you've been raided by multiple groups of knights before and this is making you anxious. If you have been in this position before, watching this brings you pain. It is so freaking annoying, dude. And Dennis is doing such a good job. And Stark is losing so many vills. And now look at this. Stark has to pull everything back, right? He's coming all the way back to come deal with these raids, which is exactly what Dennis wants, because now Dennis can move forward with the rest of his army. Yeah, my uncle would ring the town bell. I wouldn't advise you guys do that. But look at that. In and out with the knights again. Getting eco upgrades now. 3 town centers for Dennis. Such a great comeback here. Now the Woo are starting to look kind of shaky. Because the timing for the Jean Swordsman is gone, and now it's like, what do you make? I feel like the Gebetto is one of the best units in the game against the Woo. Woo range units aren't seen as the strongest. Oh, God. Well, okay, Gebetto underneath the town center. That's not good. Knights are underneath the town center here. Stark will go for conversions again. Stark won't get any. No, he does get 1. Now the other knights come in at the same time. Look at that. But Stark's ready with monks. He didn't get the clicks, so he has to garrison. There's also the conversions here from Stark. Conversions from Stark are pretty good. Wow, that's incredible. How does Stark control conversions under 3 separate town centers there? He does have a lot of idle time right now. So that's the worry, and more Gebettos are coming forward, but he did get quite a few conversions there. I think what Stark needs is maybe a switch to fire archers in a castle. Yeah, I refuse to call Stark what his username is. I actually forgot that his name is still that. I will just call him Stark. Stark listens to the stream as well. I'm sure Stark thinks it's hilarious that chat likes it. But Stark's been around a long time. I believe he is actually a father, so maybe that explains the name. Oh my God, Castle almost went down to the Ram. It doesn't. It could still be built, but I mean, the Gebetto are here. Castle's at 40%. Does this castle actually have a chance of going up? Dennis doesn't seem to think so. Dennis is dropping his own castle. Guys, this game was over. I was telling a story about my engagement. I thought Stark had won it. This game was over. And Dennis has brought it back. And that's the beauty of like Silver and Gold League. Is one lead does not immediately lead to a victory every single time. Hold up. Castle for Stark will complete. It's castle v castle. Dennis needs to YOLO his own. Stark is using villagers against the Rams, but the Gebetto are underneath the castle. So they're killing a lot of the vills. Dennis's castle goes up. This has got to be better for Dennis. He still is the Gebetto here. The castle's very weak for Stark. He can make the Rams out of the Siege Workshop. 52 eco kills, guys. Stark is trying petards. But I think his petard actually attacked uphill, which weirdly enough is a thing. And Dennis's economy is looking pretty sick behind it. You look back at home. Is he pushing a... Bro. Is that intentional right now? Okay, to me, it looked like he was intentionally pushing a zebra back. I was about to lose my mind if he was able to focus on that. But no, in and out of the castles. The castle's kind of the key of the game right now. Another siege workshop for him. I would honestly rush murder holes here. One's in chat if you would. I know, actually, no. You guys wouldn't rush murder holes here because you guys would have had murder holes before you even had the castle. That'd be a very viewer thing to do. But they made it so murder holes research is faster. For moments like this. And Malian University also does research pretty quickly, so... Won't need it. In the end, Stark's going to lose his castle, and Stark just doesn't know what army to make. He's making monks. He has got quite a few conversions, but he needs a consistent army. A consistent army cannot be monks here. Down will go his monks again. And Dennis has 2 castles to produce the Gebetto now, and now Stark is on the way to Imp. Another one of chat's favorite strategies, Imp into GG. I say that with love. I mean, you do get traction trebs. He will drop another castle. So with traction trebs, you can immediately push this back. But Dennis is coming for another castle. Crazy play from Dennis. I think for Stark, you see it so frequently. He had to drop the town centers for protection, and then he had to focus on his boom, and he couldn't focus on the push. It could have been an all-in push. Maybe it was Dennis denying the second monastery as well that made him indecisive. But Gebetto are just wrecking right now. Is not even close. Thankfully for Stark, this isn't the MTC, but this is not going up. Arson's coming in as well. This will be 3 castles to produce Gebetto now. Stark is dropping a castle down here. It's funny, Dennis is actually double-checking the south right now. I don't think he's going to notice it. Hardy at a treadmill. Hardy at a treadmill. If Hardy adds a treadmill for Silver League, that's when you know he's the GOAT. Because that's... We've got a lot of Platinum League and a lot of YouTube content to focus on, actually, with the new DLC coming up as well. So Hardy's just amazing. We have the emote, chat, if you would like to add the treadmill. But, yeah, I mean, Town Center's down. Imp is on the way for Dennis. Dennis could continue to just push in with the Rams. There is still no answer to these Rams and Gebetto. The only thing I'm wondering in my mind is... Stark was ahead and the game fell apart on him. Can the same thing happen to Dennis? It's the beauty of the very top players who are not at the tippity top. Because they have a throw in them every now and then. Would it even be the category of throw? I would say so. I mean, there's no way Dennis should ever lose this game now. Well, Stark does have the relics, but a lot of those relics are in the middle, so that can always be taken. Stark still can't even stop the 2 Rams and the Gebettos here. He is trying the best option, which is probably Fire Archer. I just say best option because it's a building he has. I don't even know if... Like, ranged units should be good against Gebetto, so... I think Dennis from here should really just be switching into stables and playing light cav or cavalier. Because the opponent can never make an easy switch into help with this economy. Yeho in chat says, why do I love this game so much and suck so much at it? One's in chat if you agree with that. If it makes you feel any better, and I know it won't, I feel the exact same way at 2400 elo. I'm so bad. And I know you're like, oh, yeah, I would love to be 2400 elo. No, I'm bad. Like, I'm so bad, dude. The game is so hard. So, yeah, I feel like unless you're maybe number one or top 5, you feel like you're bad. I don't know. I talk to players better than me even, and they think they're bad too, so... I think the game's just so difficult, it always feels like you're bad. But it's satisfying when you win. It's because it's so difficult to play. I'm starting to see some docks from Dennis in the north. He wants to retake the water. If he retakes the water, he can maybe deny the gold. He's just repairing this castle to give himself time right now. He's going for a Lee Beto, capped ram, some good eco upgrades. I mean, he's got a massive lead right now, but Stark's still in the game. Stark had a crazy comeback in the early rounds. He was like 80 pop behind in a game, and he came back on bypass. I was against Deeker. I did actually cast that series. But I just do not think his army has enough upside here. The fire archers have fletching. That's it. And here we go. Choo-choo! Here we go. Go the Rams. Malians don't get siege ram. So without siege ram, maybe they can struggle. The Rams will go down a lot faster. One of the Rams is down. The other Rams are still pushing. But still, Dennis has stone to repair. Dennis is just hoping to give himself a little bit more time for those trebuchets to take down the castle. Gebeto hop out of the Ram, so get some kills. I don't know, though. A lot of Gebeto are dying here. I still would have liked to see the full stable switch. I like this, though. You can actually hop out of the Ram and shoot down the traction trap with the Gebeto, maybe? I think it'll naturally happen. The Gebeto will eject. And now they're attacking. But they're attacking the villagers. I think as long as the traction traps aren't pushing the castle, Dennis is fine with this. Because his traps are still firing back here. You could tell he's overextending a little bit. But I still think that's okay. He sniped the traction traps. He got exactly what he wanted out of that. And that gives him time for the armor upgrades on the cav. He's reclaiming the relics. He's getting lots of gold. The south is still in control for Stark, but Stark is going to lose the front of his base here. And Stark again calls the GG. Our wonderful game, which we love and sometimes hate, mutes the GG because we are apparently 12 and we cannot see the GG. Thank you for the chat filter, Microsoft. Hopefully that gets fixed someday. But nice wins here from Dennis, guys. Wow. That was crazy. I really thought that Stark had won this game. Sometimes if I veer off course and I start talking about different things, it's because it's like, if I were to be continually honest with my feelings on the game, I would just tell you it's over. And no one wants to hear that. So I was just like, well, okay, we'll turn this into something interesting. But damn, what a comeback. The counterattacks were huge with the Knights. That was really the game-changing thing for me. He had multiple groups of Knights just heading to Stark's base. And then getting into the castle was also a game-changer. Stark got a lot of conversions this game. He got probably like 20 or something, right? He got 12. It felt like 20. But his most created military unit, what was it? John Swordsman, and then... No, it was Monk! He made 30 monks for 12 conversions. Yeah, just not enough. So... he needed to have way more value from those monks, and the monks didn't know where they needed to be, whether it was on the front or back at home. Means a lot to have people watching here for Silver League too, right? Because like the whole I guess motivation behind me starting TTL in the first place years ago was you have very good players who just felt like they were crap, right? And I was sitting there thinking they'd come to me after a series where they'd lose against like Viper or someone, and they're like, I'm just so bad at the game. And I'd be sitting there consoling them. Like, no, you're not bad at the game. It's just the tournament bracket just threw you in against a top 10 guy or top 16 guy, you know? As so many players I would talk to and just try and let them know. Like, it's just the format makes you feel like you're crap. And so we came up with the different leagues, and now players have gained some real confidence over the last 5 seasons and just realizing they can move their way through the scene and up through the scene in incremental advantages. Or incremental, not advantages, incremental steps is what I meant to say. TT4rk is going for insta-drush here with Lithuanian, so he's going for it. He's already going up to Gold League. That's confirmed. He's already won the group. But he's going for the early barracks. You have a lot of food underneath the town center here on Mudflow. And Lithuanians also start with more food. So he's done the math here. He's chopping the straggler trees. And I think it's 300 total. Oh, no. It's 50 wood on each reed. So it is 250 total wood for both players. We actually had to balance this at one point because people were trying to do these builds and the straggler trees were unfair on both sides. That's how specific it is. That an extra 50 wood on one side led to complaints that we had to balance. Crazy, right? And they're both going to go for the same build. Only Dennis doesn't have any bonuses that really helps with this. Like, he doesn't have the extra food. He doesn't have a wood discount. I think you can do it with every civ, but it's a little bit more complicated. Dennis bringing in his elephants. There's no deer to push on this map, so players can scout very early. That's also part of why I think we see this strategy, because there's no pros and cons anymore in terms of your scout activity. Basically, if you were to choose to push deer, there's always a reward to get the food underneath the TC. You remove that potential, and then players are going to scout. And then if you're always going to have the scout active, it opens up this strategy. But really, I think what makes this strategy strong is denying the wood lines. Right now, they're underneath their TCs. TT4rk didn't see the barracks yet. Dennis sees the barracks now, and they just found each other in the middle. Okay, so now TT4rk knows that Dennis is going to end up doing the same thing. Vanilla Thunder says, T90, the whole TTL format is brilliant. Was it somewhat inspired by Champions League, perchance? No, it wasn't. It was not inspired by Champions League. To be honest, I think if there was an event that made me think of it, and I forget on the timing because it's been so long now. Dennis is making enough militia where he will not have loom, by the way. He is going up to 5 militia to stabilize this. No loom then. So this is a little risky. There was an event called World Rumble. Does anyone remember that? I think it was hosted by OGN, who's a French streamer. And I think that was the event that made me realize I really like to see events with players that aren't in the top 16. That's what it was. I think it was for people who had never had like a top 8 or top 16 finish in an S tier or something. I was watching that tournament, but TTL might have already existed at that time. It's been so long now. But yeah, that's a tournament that came to mind that made me think good things about that caliber of player and then beyond. And also the other inspiration is I played TT4rk last night. Like, I play these guys, right? And so, like, I'm very motivated for our scene because I'm unfortunately not allowed to play, but, like, I'm one of them, right? I feel like I'm doing something for my bros, for my boys, you know? And in Gabby's case, girl. For my friends. So, I don't know. It's just a mix of everything, I guess. I take a lot of pride in it. And that's why I'm also particularly excited to give this coverage to this level of player, because I know their level, I know their quirks, and I know how much it means to them. So someone in YouTube chat said TT4rk is dead. WTF is TT4rk doing? He's dead. I don't think he's dead. He's got less army, but guess what? He's just been in his opponent's base. Dennis invested more. So Dennis has spent a lot of time chasing. He had to wait until he got loom there to feel comfortable. He's going to queue up loom now because he got the gold. But TT4rk has a lot of time. TT4rk's on the way to the next stage faster. He walls up his wood line before there's any trouble here. This is a tough wood line to get to. Ooh, his scout almost gets trapped in there. I don't know if Dennis realizes that's not rewalled. Looks like he does. And yeah, Beak Fuel Age quickly here is going to be very nice for TT4rk. So I don't hate it. It's a really awkward map to play, though, because the berries are super exposed and you can't farm around the TC. But Stark will still go for man-at-arms. Guys, this build is so difficult. It is so much harder to execute than the other builds that we see, which is why they have such high idle TC time. But it's also much harder to defend from this than any other build at the same time. So, luckily for Dennis, he's melee. He advances faster to the next stage. He's still got his units here just attacking the house, which he would take down pretty quickly, so Stark is just repairing it. T90, should we organize another league so you can also play? Yeah, go for it. Please do. Please do. Please do. Make it happen. Yeah, just not allowed because of Microsoft rules, right? Which I understand. I mean, if I'm hosting the event, there could be a conflict of interest. So I understand it. I did tell Nilly, as Stark has gotten the 2 villager kills here on the berries, I did tell Nilly the rule kind of saves me some potential heartbreak, you know? So, because the competition's really high, I would want to do well, but I also would want to cover the event, and it's not realistic to have the best of both worlds. It would probably be one or the other. So, is what it is. Ozone, that doesn't count, bro. Ozone's referencing a tournament where he beat me in the semifinals. That doesn't count, man. Obviously, if it was TTL, I would have performed way better. I would have been more prepped. Don't even. Obviously. Archer goes down. So I think Dennis still has a lot of potential. We have a dock from Stark. Does Dennis see that? Dennis spotted the dock. I think it's not that big a deal that there's a dock right now. I don't think you have to do too much about it. But if you wanted to in Dennis's position, you could drop your own dock. Remember, the middle is dockable, and it could be really awkward if demos are on your wood lines. Yeah, Robs, I'm aware I know there's different events out there. And there's different leagues. But, like, you know, having a 10K league for me, it's not even about the money. It's just the prestige. Like, being able to play in a tournament where I could prove myself as a player would be really nice. So I'm gonna sign up for different events. Stark has a demo here. He has to delete his own walls to get the demo to work, though. This is a weird situation. But I think if he shift deletes his wall... Oh, can he demo through his own wall? Okay. He's thinking about it. He deleted the walls. He's probably going to rush this tower down. Really messy game over here. Man-at-arms are still over on this side. Dennis needs to have some archers at defense, maybe. But the forward range isn't too bad either. It's applying a lot of pressure on Stark. Who's winning this right now? I guess economically, Dennis is winning. He's got 2 mills on different areas of berries. Stark has still one area he isn't milled. Stark doesn't have any counter-attacking. Yeah, Dennis is in a really nice spot. This is really bad for Deeker, I think, in the group, because Deeker had 4 wins, and he was hoping that Dennis would not get wins. So this would hurt Deeker. I think there's still a chance Deeker survives. We'll look at the group standings, but Deeker will have been disappointed to see that Stark basically already confirmed his first place in the group here. Not to imply that Stark isn't playing his best. I feel like Stark's still playing his best Age of Empires. But there is also that little side narrative of he doesn't necessarily need the wins. Counterattack from Stark, though. And I think Dennis is a little confused because he hasn't seen any of the army. And there's also a demo out from Stark. So if Dennis ever runs, the demo is waiting. This could be a masterpiece. Still $10 per win here in Silver League. And we have villagers on stone to recoup the cost of that tower from earlier. And now we have a tower there. But Stark is coming into the wood line. Feels like it could be a little too late. Stark is off of gold right now. The archers run right in. Oh my god, there was a hole. No, Dennis. Dennis the Menace. Yikes. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. You just say, it's fine. Nobody's watching this. It's not like there's viewers watching. We're just going to drop the tower. We made more man-at-arms. We have armor. We could probably push this back. It's fine. You never leave the front. You still always stay focused here. Pressure Stark as much as possible. You say, "'Tis a flesh wound," and you hope for a couple skirmishers, though. Man, every time there's a forward archer range, I swear we see the same story, guys. Forward archer range just leads to counterattacks every single freaking time. He had the right idea to get to the stone. So now he can drop a couple towers. Oh, and he does have the dock here. He's adding some fish traps, too. But can't Stark just sit here with the archers and attack the fish traps now? Like, you'd have to actually add a galley to defend those. This map is so stupid. In a good way, you know? What is happening here? Now we've got Stark losing his tower to the man-at-arms and the archers. This is chaos, man. I love the Silver League energy. This is great. Look at the idle TC time as well. By far, one of the worst games, one of the messiest games that these players have played. They can play better than this. But because of the meaning behind it and because of what the map does, you've got crazy situations. Yeah, those fish traps were taken out. Dennis actually added a galley on his own TC area to defend the fish traps. He's got 2 on food right now. And Stark is 14 on food, but Stark, that's all berries. He doesn't have a single working farmer. All right, let's play a fun little game called Guess the Time That Both Players Will Be in Castle Age. And I mean, like, just guess the time in which both players are also in Castle Age, right? I'm not saying, like, guess Stark's time and guess Dennis's time. I'm just saying, like, at what point are both there? Because we're 21 minutes into the game. 4 on food versus 7. And they both have really big gold problems, too, so it's not like they can even buy the food. Okay, never is a really good guess. Because we will see a lot of Navy here, and there's villagers exposed. And we got docks everywhere? What is this game? If I had to guess the time they make it, besides never, because that feels like it's cheating, I'd honestly say, like, 31 minutes. I think they've both done enough to not be broken here. Though maybe the man-at-arms with arson can take down this tower. Yeah, Stark has to drop another tower. That's a big play from Dennis. I think Dennis just needs some fire ships and galleys in the middle now. You know what I would accidentally do in a chaotic game like this? Is I would produce more ships in my starting dock near the TC. Yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it. Yes! Relatable content. Let's go. He's doing it. Yeah, he selected all of his docks instinctively. Because usually you can select all of your docks and it's fine. And he's producing fires from this dock. And he's going to have a useless fire ship in the middle here. Lost a couple of vills to the galley. Brings the fire galley over. That's why some players won't use select all hotkeys. They won't use select all docks, for example. Because you might accidentally do this. I don't use the select all dock hotkey. But I do use select all stables. And select all archery ranges, and sometimes you have those problems. Alright, Demo tried to get through some kills on the wood line. That doesn't happen. Galley, 6 HP. Galley goes down, and so does the fire. Stark is losing all of his archers. Yeah, I mean, Stark, he needs some value at some point, and he could start to get overwhelmed with ships. Stark is just going to be hoping that Dennis continues to make the mistake of adding ships here instead of the middle. But if Dennis is producing from both these docks and has the land army, we might never see Castle Age. Stark still has golds. He's going to take more wood back there. He's dropping another tower. The tower defense is kind of working. And Stark is taking down a farm over there with some archers. But this area is becoming a problem. Not having a safe wood line in the middle like Dennis does is just a big issue here. Dennis has come to play today, guys. Big time. And this will guarantee him playoff position. Now, I don't know who he would be up against in silver to get promoted to gold. We'd have to speculate on that. And there's a lot of really talented players in silver. There's players who I thought would be gold players in silver. So maybe Dennis would be the underdog. Demo, oof. Ideally, he would have noticed, and he would have used it right away, and that doesn't work out either. But he's still looking around for damage. He's got 700 stone in the bank right now. I think there's an argument to sell the stone and just buy food to go Castle Age. I know it sounds inefficient, but stone for a castle doesn't matter if you're not in Castle Age. You got to get to Castle Age, and I feel like Castle Age can change the game in some ways. This is Dennis's home map. He's definitely played it like his home map. But TT4rk has had some good experience here. TT4rk got a win against Dogao on this in a Hidden Cup qualifier. He had a really good run there. It was a crazy comeback, I think, in a Chinese war, if I remember. So, what's up, GS Healer? It's his first time watching a stream in 3-ish years. Just came back to the game. Losing Elo so fast. I will see you in Low Elo Legends soon. Say hello to my uncle while you're down there, bro. I mean, Dennis could dock here. Maybe Dennis should just dock here. TT4rk is adding fishing ships. Does he see that? He sees the dock. He just wants a tower instead. What a messy game. Oh, demo? Demo? TT4rk needs a comeback. He needs a big boom. I think there's not a hole, though. Oh, there is around the other side. Oh, God. 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 Dennis saw it. Dennis saw it. He garrisoned his tower, and he rewalled it. Nice play. And now he is selling off some of that stone. He will cook up the Castle Age. Yeah, we might not have both players in Castle Age here. That is a crazy Castle Age time for Dennis. It'll be at about 30 minutes. But, I mean, TT4rk is just so far from ever clicking. Thank you, Indigo. Thank you, XD. Wimpy, appreciate the primes. Thank you, Kumar. Hello, Kumar. 70 months. Nice. Sorry, I feel like I've not thanked people for the support today. I know chat really wanted the demos there. We've got demos on either side from TT4rk. But Dennis is aware of it now. And when Dennis is in Castle Age, he could drop a castle. He could drop town centers. He can upgrade his army that he already is actively moving around the map. TT4rk needs his market. Does he not even have a market? Yeah. What a messy game. No market even. I thought he had a market, but nope. TT4rk's already confirmed. Like, even though he gets swept here, he's already confirmed to be going to Gold League. This has been his worst performance of the season. And maybe it's just because he already, like, he can come in here tired or unmotivated or whatever. He's already up to gold. He almost went, he's 11-1 coming into this. But he's going to continue to fight. Isn't that something, though? You have someone who's already confirmed to gold, so this game doesn't matter hugely, and they're still fighting. And then you have people in the first and second round, I will not name names, also that fire galley stuck, who have a lot to play for, and they resign like 2 minutes in. Again, I will not name names. But there is just a very big difference between the level of fight that players in this game can show sometimes. Demo? Oh, quick wall. No. Woo. She's dead, but she took one for the team. Respect. Respect. Find yourself a woman who would do that for you. Or ideally don't, because, you know, that's kind of sad for her. There's still a couple random demos patrolling around, but I think the bigger story is now, can TT4rk make it to Castle Age? I don't know if he's going to have much left when he makes it to Castle Age. He's going to run out of all these resources here. The Mangonel might end up going down to the tower. I think Dennis is definitely trying to do a little bit too much right now. Just needs to chill. Drop the second town center. Get some eco upgrades. Just make boats. Just boat it up right now. Then the Mangonel repair is perfect there. I think you can park your crossbows here, repair the Mangonel, and then you could just look at your own base. Which is kind of what he's doing. Second town center. More ships coming. I don't think there's any way he could lose this one. And so, in the end, I think it was the 5 man-at-arms, right? Like, the 5 man-at-arms got so much value this game. They've since died. But the 5 militia opening into man-at-arms led to taking down the houses. The forward archer range was also really nice. I know the counterattacks from TT4rk were decent, but yeah, tower defense felt like a really good call for Dennis. You can tell in these high-pressure scenarios when someone is is suddenly able to breathe a little bit because they get all the eco upgrades, and that just doesn't happen if the game is still really close and really intense. Yeah, Jope, you're right. Stark had a lot of comebacks in this season, so I like, and that's why it's exactly why you should continue to play on, right? Especially if you're not in talking top 16. I think if you're talking anywhere from like 20 to 70, there can be a lot of comebacks. One thing goes wrong, and then suddenly someone gets very shaky. The Stark is dropping a castle, thinking about what his options are. That'll secure more wood. Then he can make Lattice. Two castles. Okay. 2 castles, 4 on food. Instructions unclear. Stark was told to make castle unit, but he wasn't told to have an eco for the castle unit. I mean, it's just been that type of game, right? Fire galleys are coming in. The fire galleys are going to roast the eco here. Dennis needs to leave. This is what I mean. Like, things can go wrong. Dennis has his own castle over here. Dennis isn't realizing either. He's still looking here. Earth to Dennis. Okay, Dennis realizes now. It's just such an annoying map to play. I promise we didn't make the map to annoy the players, though. I promise. It's a unique one. You very rarely see... Usually in any map where there's ships, there's fish to benefit from in the Dark Age, and so you just always see only boats as the opening. But like here, that's not the case. Is this the T-West map? T-West helped me balance all my maps. This map was a Krazini idea. So Krazini was the one who had brought this map to me in the past. It's a very nice map. It's a really cool concept. I think what we had changed from, I think the initial version I saw from Krazini, the stone wasn't all fixed in the middle. I forget what we tweaked. Guys, 2 Lattice for the comeback. I don't know if Dennis has properly respected the fact that the Lattice can loop around. That is 9 villagers right now. And in a game that's been extremely chaotic, maybe there's a chance. Over here, Stark's losing some vills. Now the Lattice come in to take down the siege. Stark has no town center, though. He just lost his town center to the Mangonels. So 2 Lattice need to be the MVP over here. Dennis, you just need monks, my dude. You just need a couple monks. That's fine. Just a couple monks. You make some monks. These Lattice run around. You can convert them. He's still got the fish traps with the Malay, which have, like, basically endless food. Demo! Oh, man. Great find. Yeah, Dennis is fine. Dennis is fine. The random ships on the water just are so important here. You need to have the center wood lines controlled on this map at this stage. And if it's not that, you need to have the gold controlled. That's what Stark's trying to raid right now. He's trying to raid all the golds. We might get to the 3rd page on Capture Age with Dennis's units here, though. He's got 10 different types of units on the field at the moment. Could very easily get there. Again, guys, Capture Age is bugged because they updated it for the upcoming patch, but we are still not casting the new patch, so there's no unique text listed here. It just says missing string. But the positive is missing string is free. The technology resource cost for missing string is free, which is incredible. That's quite the deal. So if you're missing your string, now you know where your string is, all right? The Stark is going to add TCs. Luckily, you get some food when you build the town centers. He's on 3 town centers now. Stark is not calling it. He's got 2 castles with the Lithuanians. He might start to get some relics. Does this game actually go imp here? It might, because there's no easy way for Dennis to actually do damage right now. And Stark has gotten some raids too. Like, Stark killed 12 villagers. Stark isn't going to want to call it quits. Let's not forget that this fishing economy, which Dennis continues to invest into, is only protected by 1 war galley and a fire. Honestly, I think if Stark is aware of that, Stark could swoop in at some point and it could get bad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dennis, you need playoffs, bro. You need playoffs. Stark is just using the mobility of the Latus. I thought the game was over. He's getting the raids in on the left side now as well. And this is what I mean. So I've been there, right? I'm like kind of there-ish caliber player. And when you start to let the game slip like this, it can really mess with your mind. And wrong decisions can happen way faster than you think. Oh, man. And I don't even think that gate would be enough. I think the gate would go down, but the town center will complete, so he runs away. Crazy chaos here. Dennis has just had no army. Like, he had the army on the front, but in Castle H, he's just been booming. He really just needs to fix the army problem. And now we see barracks getting dropped. So I think his plan is to play pikemen now, which is a good plan, but Stark can maybe start to get the relics. Stark has 3 town centers. This is exactly what he did against Dogao in the one Hidden Cup qualifier on this map, is he just focused on all the golds, and he stayed at the top. He didn't have the middle at all for a very long time. He lost the town center foundation there as well. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But castles being up is certainly going to help. Ballistics isn't in, but still, with Bodkin Arrow, you'd expect good damage there to be dealt by the castle. The pike should be on the way eventually. Relics are getting brought in by Dennis as well. What we're not seeing is still how good his macro is. It's good eco upgrades, good farm count, has the fishing traps too. Fishing traps are not flashy. So, like, it's not really obvious when a player's focusing on that unless you're watching their point of view. But Stark will drop a town center here, and Stark will drop a town center here. At least that's the goal. But I think Dennis is looking around, thinking about that. He doesn't actually know about the gold, though, so he won't get there. Yeah, the number 1 area Stark needs to go with his Latus is here. That's 21 fish traps. But there are also farms for Dennis. And Dennis is starting to outpost. Look at how many outposts he has around the map. He wants to know where Stark is coming from. That's been the main problem for him, is there's been surprises. It's just some tiny details you can do, though. Like some walling in towards your castle here is really nice. Some walling in from here to the middle is really nice. You just don't want to give Stark that avenue to attack there. And find some Latus over here. What a recovery from Stark, though. I love his fighting spirit, man. That's so good. Dude's already promoted to Gold League, which is the main goal. And he is still fighting on here. He does not want to get swept. Dennis is on the way to the Imperial Age now, though. Gets a conversion or two. We'll bring a demo in. Good luck, Latus. See you later, Latus. See you, Latus. No, okay. Stark micros it. Don't use that. Not worth it. Okay. Nice micro from Stark. That's actually worth it for Stark. I would love to see... I can't actually check the cost now. Thalassocracy, is that the tech, right? Damn it, I actually need it. I'm forgetting the name. I think Thalassocracy is the name of the tech. I'm confusing myself because there's also a name of a tournament. And so, for a second there, I was like, wait a second. No, that's not a tech, that's a tournament. It's both. Anyways, Thalassocracy or Docks fire arrows. So I'd love to see that tech come in. It hasn't come in yet. This is what I meant earlier. If you funnel in that pressure towards your castle actually protects, but because that's still open, this is an issue. I mean, guys, Vil count's even right now. A Vil count's not even, but Eco count is even. But Imp is in for Dennis, so he still is just super far ahead. Dennis clearly wants a forward castle over here on the gold. He has the pikemen. They get the armor upgrade for free. He's also going to be on Halb now. I appreciate the fight from Stark, but I just do not think he is going to have a very good time. Very difficult to ever stop this castle, and Dennis is going to send it here. I think Dennis will maybe lose a couple villagers, but that's okay. He can bring the army in. That castle's still going to go up. Stark needs to click Imp himself. Ideally not in one of these town centers. Stark bought his own castle. Right now, he just bought his own castle. spent 1,000 gold on 600 stone. Then I would sacrifice my latest to kill the villagers here. Because if you kill the vills, maybe your castle denies the castle from Dennis. Now, I think Dennis's goes up. And there's the tech. There's thalassocracy. Okay, so it still does show the tech. It just doesn't show it here. Yeah, there's a ram you can't do anything about. There's going to be trebs you can't do anything about. There's crossbows you can't do anything about. Over here, the docks are actually ranging the gold miners. Again, salutes in chat, please, for Stark. It feels a bit bad, of course, to get swept and salute the guy, but I really appreciated the fight there. I mean, but also those salutes extend to Dennis. Dennis wins 3 games. He came in here, could have been relegated. He wins 3 against top of the group. Great result. And that should put him into the playoff position. We will eventually cover those playoffs, so we'll see more of Dennis. But Stark, I know it feels weird to say congratulations after we watch you get swept, but congratulations on a great season in silver. Stark, we will not see again because of his dominance. Stark will end up being in Gold League next season.